Hey, I don't know if this is working. Um, I guess we'll see who I be. My name is Eric Webster. I'm starting to put myself a little more out there. Trying to, and this is one of the first attempts of that. I've been Facebooking for like 2 months, only dipping my toe into Instagram. And TikTok, I'm still afraid of. Uh, so this is going to be a YouTube attempt, uh, just as an outlet. Like, I wonder, uh, you know, if this could be a depository, like diary for me to say whatever it is that I could say. So, let's see. My name is Eric. I have a nickname. When I was a kid, I tried to promote to propagate the name Jaguar. I don't know, animals, being a kid. Uh, I got a nickname in college. I had a professor. Uh, Lived in a double moated castle in the Netherlands. I got accepted to have a semester abroad. My college offered that in the Netherlands. And so lived at this double moated castle with other students, and we'd have teachers. There was the moat and a bridge in the first building, and it was bigger than the castle itself because the castle had to fit inside the first building that I believe wrapped around the whole thing. That's where we had classes. I got to and some dorms. I got to sleep in the castle itself, which had the second moat. And in Dutch, there was a sign that said Verboden Togen, which sounds like forbidden to go in, and that's what it meant. And so there was the second moat, and then the castle. And the castle looked more, it was castle-y, but like a French, nah, it was still stonework and whatnot. So I guess it looked like a Dutch castle in a town called Well. And I had a teacher, and we were in the first building, and there was a creative writing class. Um, he gave me a compliment about my writing that I'll never forget. Maybe when I get more comfortable, I'll share it, but I signed everything with my first middle initial and last name. So it was E.G. Webster. So he liked to make fun of everybody, and he did that with me writing EG. And he said, "What do I call you? Egg?" And so since then, there's a few folks in my life who call me Egg. So yeah, I have a nickname. But my name's Eric, and my last name's Webster, and I'm very opinionated. I am told that is other people's opinion that I am opinionated, and I agree with their opinion. So there's some thought I might have a lot to say, and again, this could be an outlet. So my last name's Webster. I've also, at times in my life, uh, written things or been a paid writer and advertising a little bit in newspapers in New York, which I guess is a cool bragging point. That's neat to say. I was involved in the dot-com boom back then, the 11th floor of 57th Avenue in Central Park West or something like that. Got to watch the Macy's Day Parade out that window. So, uh, that's a good memory. My brother, an old girlfriend of mine, and myself. It was like a Saturday or Sunday, and we just watched the Macy's Day Parade from the 11th floor, and so the balloons are floating past at eye level, like you could jump out and land on them and ride right into Times Square on the balloon. So, yeah, I had a paid writing career, advertising, maybe I said that. Um, Been a stay-at-home dad the last 8 years, and I wrote a book, and I want to leave some sort of video recording for my kids, uh, and yeah. So Webster, known for definitions, kind of adopted in my magical thinking metaphorical brain. I'm a word man. I like to play with language, and I have a lot of definitions. Uh, and where are you gonna share them? So here I am. I was born in Kansas. I was an Army brat, mostly East Coast. After my dad retired from working at the Pentagon, we moved up to Long Island. Um, in late middle school, high school, went to Ward Melville for 10th grade. 11th and 12th grade, my mom said I was going to hell in a handbasket and sent me to Stony Brook, which I just found out that Billy Graham sent his kid to. That's how Christian this private school might have been. So Billy Graham sent his kid to it, and he didn't graduate. I did. College, got a creative writing degree, lived in Manhattan Queens, slept a lot of other boroughs, and ended up in South Florida about 2003 when the buildings fell in Manhattan. I don't know, that kind of stuck with me. Ended up leaving in beginning of 03. Became an interim teacher. Well, started as a sub. Moved in with my parents at first. They started charging me rent, so that certainly made it easy to move out again. South Florida. Couldn't get hired as a bartender. Worked as a bartender in Manhattan. Busboy, waiter. And so started substituting to pay rent. They hired me as an interim sub. Then I had a 5-year temporary certificate when they were only supposed to last 3 years. In my 6th year, I finally got certified to teach those poor kids. Oh man, I was such a bad teacher. I tried my best, I just left playing Starving Artist in New York, and I don't know how I ended up there. You go whichever way the river takes you, and sometimes it's easier to travel with it. So there I am as a teacher for 6 years. Then I left and went to a portfolio advertising school, I don't know, maybe 33, 34. Started teaching when I was 28. I know I taught 6 years. I don't know how old I was somewhere around there. So I went to the Creative Circus for 2 years. It was a top tier advertising school. I was not a top tier advertiser, and so uh, I did advertising for about 5 years. I met my wife at that school. Uh, Worked at Donor for 3 years in Detroit. Worked for a year in Atlanta for Donor Atlanta. We moved out to Seattle for my wife's job at Amazon. Uh, Super proud of her. And then to Tennessee uh, about 6 years ago. It's funny, both sets of my grandparents were buried in Tennessee, and it was so random to move there. I was like, is it my turn to be buried? Uh, yeah, one in Spring Hill, one in a cotton field in Alamo, Tennessee. Gosh, I think I have a lot to say. So, thank God for Tennessee, my uncle and his family. They're life saving folk. My mom moved back to Tennessee. She was raised in Kentucky after my dad passed. And then 2 months ago, we moved up to Detroit. So we live now in the Birmingham area. Just got a job as a waiter. Been a stay-at-home dad for 8 years. Uh, and I'm ready to talk to some adults. So this is my attempt. Video number one of Webster's definition, uh, starting to define myself. So have a great day.